This daf in Yerushalmi Shabbos. The article Oz is supposed to start at the top of Kuf Chesam now, but let's start from the bottom. Kuf Zayin base right after the Mishnah. There's a header. Mishnah Lo Shtei Tinokas Chuli. Then Rabbi Yechanan, and in the Vilna it starts right away. Rabbi Yechanan on Pei Chesam now, the last line. So we went over the Rabbi Yechanan Shita yesterday very quickly, but let's go now in more depth and let's go learn the Mishnah Psachim. Perek Vav Halacha Hey. I don't have the article yet on Psachim. In the Vilna, Yerushalmi, it's Mem Gimel Amud Aleph. In the Bavli, it's on Ayin Aleph on base. Then it says, "A Pesach sheshach shlo lishmo b'Shabbos chayav l'vchatos." You shech the Pesach shlo lishmo for the different korban on Shabbos. Whenever Pesach came out on Shabbos, you chayav l'vchatos. Do you violate Shabbos? Chayav l'vchatos. What about the other way around? Shar kozvach, you shech the other korbanos. You shech the same Pesach for the purpose of Pesach. Im ein if they're not suitable to your korban Pesach, they're not the right type of animal. Chayav. If they're suitable, Rabbi Lezer Mechayev Chatas says you're still Chayev Chatas. Rabbi Yeshua point to Yeshua exempts your Chatas. Rabbi Lezer said, "Mayim a Pesach shemutar lishmo, a Pesach which is mutter for the purpose of Pesach. Kshishina lishmo Chayev, you change its name, it's Chayev. Zvachim sheim asurim lishmo, zvachim sheim also lishmo. Kshishina lishmo, just because you change the name to Pesach, it shouldn't make it better, it should make it worse. Ain't no din shu Chayev, it's not a Chayev b'chomer you're Chayev." Yeshua said, no. By Pesach, the reason is because you changed its name for Dover Aser. You shech the Shlo Lishmo. Tom is supposed to Zevach, we shech the Shem Pesach, Shina Dar Mutter, change it to Dover Mutter. Therefore, you should be Potter. Amr Blezer said, I'll prove to you that's not correct because it's Imurei Tzibur. You're allowed to bring Imurei Tzibur, Korbanot Tzibur, on Shabbos, to meet him, Musafim. But Shem Mutar Lishmon, by Shol Lishmon Chayev. You shech to them purpose, you're Chayev. Amr Yeshua said it's not comparable. Lo Martin Muri Tzibur Sheshlem Kitzba. In Muri Tzibur, there's a limit to how many you could do. There's a limit to how many Musafi you could bring on Shabbos. However, once that's been sacrificed, they'll sacrifice. It can't be parts just because you shech the Shem Muri Tzibur. It's supposed to Pesach. There's no Kitzba. There's no limit to how many Pesachim you could bring. Pesach Chalos b'Shabbos. There's no limit up. Because maybe you bring Pesachim. Tamar Pesach, ain't no kitzvah. Now, Reb Meir has another shita. Af hashach l'shem imurei tzibur potter. Im you shech the purpose of imurei tzibur, you're potter. You shech the and even though there's a limit, we don't take a limit to account. You shech another carbon for the purpose of imurei tzibur, you're potter. Okay, now, so Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Yochanan is in front of that Rabbi Meir, but he's not going on the Mishnah that we have in front of us. He's going on, as some Meforshim point out, so we mentioned yesterday, he's going on the Girsa of the Mishnah, which says that, which is actually brought down the Bali by Rav Yehuda. Misha Shnei Tinokos Echol Umu Erev Shabbos, Echol Umu B'Shabbos. He had two Tinokos to do Bris Milah, one Erev Shabbos and one on Shabbos. Shachal Mal Erev Shabbos B'Shabbos. You mal the Erev Shabbos one on Shabbos, you're potter. Why is that? So because Rabbi Yochanan Meir is Rabbi Meir in the Mishnah Psachim. The Amaru said, "Dvar Davashes Yosem Mitzvah Potter." Where there is a mitzvah involved, even though you didn't do the mitzvah properly, you shouldn't have brought the carbon for Murei Tzibur on Shabbos. Already were korbanos brought for Murei Tzibur. It's not your korban, and this kid, which you're doing the Bris Milah on Shabbos, it's not supposed to have been on Shabbos. It's supposed to be Erev Shabbos, but since you thought you were doing a mitzvah, and there is a mitzvah involved. Over there, in Murei Tzibur, are a mitzvah on Shabbos. Over here, this kid is Shaykh and Bris Milah. He's after the 8th day. So therefore, there is a mitzvah involved. You shouldn't have done it on Shabbos. It's not Mudech Shabbos. But since there's a mitzvah involved, so therefore it's likely Murei Tzibur according to Meir, and therefore you're potter on Shabbos. V'she'ein b'asiyas mitzvah, and the article puts the word chayib in machlekes, but I'm not sure why. They don't need that. If there is no asiyas mitzvah in the other case in our Mishnah where you had not a Friday and a Shabbos kid, but a Sunday and a Shabbos kid. And you did the Sunday kid on Shabbos, there's no mitzvah, right? So that there's no mitzvah. On that we have machlokas, Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Eliezer. You thought you were doing mitzvah. There's no mitzvah involved. It's not like Imur Tzibur, which can bring on Shabbos. There's no mitzvah bris milah because this kid was a Sunday kid. And that's a machlokas between Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Yeshua, whether you're going to be chayav or potter. Rabbi Shimon Omer, Davar sheish b'asiyos a mitzvah, chayav. Rabbi Shimon says no. Even though there's an asiyah, there's a mitzvah, right? And in other words, mitzvah, because it's a Friday kid, you were mal on Shabbos. Doesn't matter, because you already mal the Shabbos kid on Friday. There's no heter on Shabbos in front of you anymore, because the kid who would have been Deichel Shabbos, you were mal on Friday. His bris milah was no good, but you were mal on Friday, and therefore there's no potential of Shabbos minidcha at all. So therefore you can't. Therefore you're for sure. You're in that case you're chayev. V'she'ein b'asiyos mitzvah potem machlekas. So I see now where the article put in the word chayev before because it says potter over here, but it'd be better just take out this potter. But in any event, he says the exact opposite. Well, it's not the exact opposite. He says the only machlokas is in the case where the Sunday Shabbos kid switch, because there, although you did the Sunday kid on Shabbos, you still had the Shabbos kid who ended up doing it on Sunday. So there, Shabbos is still given for the Chia. You happened to mess up. You did the Sunday kid on Shabbos, but there was a Shabbos kid waiting in the wings, so to speak. So therefore, on that we have a machlokas, whether you're chayav or potter. Now going to the Mishnah Psachim, Rabbi Yosef Shem Yochel said, Divi Rabbi Meir, Yosef said, name Rabbi Yochel, that which Rabbi Meir said, you're potter when you shech limurei tzibur. It's only she has said Tomim uben shana ushlamim v'roi lishtanos l'shem Pesach. It has to be identical to our case here in Shabbos, because here in Shabbos, this kid was suitable for a bris milah. It happened to be, he should have done it yesterday, but he's suitable for a bris milah. So too there, the korban you're shechting, the shem murei tzibur. In order to be potter, it has to be a korban which is suitable to be brought that day. What's the korban which is suitable to be brought that day? A Pesach. What are the parameters of Pesach? Tomim, ben shana, shlamim. So you tomim, has to be a ben shana, has to be hekdesh l'shem shlamim, not l'shem ola, something like that. V'roi l'shtan l'shem Pesach. And that is, it's suitable to be that it could have been changed to the purpose of Pesach. The vav could have been a shin, shehu roi l'shtan l'shem Pesach. In other words, if that's the case, because it's tomim, ben shana and shlamim, so therefore it's suitable to be changed to the purpose of Pesach. Okay, now the Gemara says Achmamina class. Now this Achmamina is going on the Rabbi Yeshua there, who says that it's only if it's l'shem Pesach that it's potter, not l'shem mimurei tzibur. So from here we hear three things. Shmamina davar shem b'lo kitzba. It says there has to be somebody who has no kitzba, as opposed to mimurei tzibur, which has a kitzba. The davar here says she'en darkul ischayv, but all the Mefarshim change it to something the korban edo, everybody else shedarkul ischayv. It's got to be something which could be a korban pesach. The davar sheyesh b'asiyos a mitzvah, and something where there is, if you did it that way, l'shem pesach, it would be a mitzvah, which of course precludes our case over here, where you were mal the wrong kid. There's no mitzvah involved. I think he's coming to preclude even the case. He's going to Bavor into this last statement to preclude the davar sheish b'asiyos mitzvah, as opposed to Rabbi Meir, who said that even if you mal the kid from Friday on Shabbos, that's also potter. It's only going to Meir, not going to Yeshua, because Rabbi Yeshua, since there's no mitzvah to be mal him today, so therefore it can't work. It's supposed to, if you brought the shlamim, which is suitable to be a Pesach on Shabbos, then it has a basiyos mitzvah, could be a mitzvah, so therefore it would be effective, and therefore that's your potter. Now the Gemara brings down fascinating machlokas. What does it mean davar shein lo kitzvah? Ma'aseh Meimar Davar Shein Lo Kitzvah. How do you find Davar Shein Lo Kitzvah? Rabbi Yirmiyah Savar Meimar Shelo Nitna Torah Kitzvah Kam B'Sachim Mitches HaShabbos Chol Shana. There's no limit how many korbanos space they bring every year. As many as you need. So that's Davar Shein Lo Kitzvah. Rabbi Yossi Savar Meimar Shein Yochel Amal Minyonan. You can't count them. It was a fascinating idea. You can't count how many there are. It's beyond capacity. I think there was one brings down that once they tried to count how many there were, but it's something which is beyond counting. So therefore, it's kind of like havlah, right? It's muvla in the rest of the in the rest of them. So therefore, shechted l'shem Pesach. I mean, it wasn't supposed to be a Pesach. So therefore, it's part of the mass. So with the next part, I'm going to go to the Gears of Korban Eidah. Slightly different than the Gemara itself. Rabbi Yosef Karava Mati Lini Tinokos Fekos. And you got the our sugya of Tinokos Fekos. Hayome said, "You often lim Dani Rabbi Yirmiyah." Rabbi Yirmiyah said, "Good. There's no limit," and that's the definition of Davar Shein Lo Kitzvah. Isa Meishad Yochel Amora Midyanan. Because we're talking about bris milah, we're making a comparison to Sugya Pesachim. Here you can tell how many kids you have to be mal. They're easy to count. They're on the spot. So therefore, it's not. Therefore, that if we're comparing the children here and saying it's like a davar she'ein lo kitzvah to Pesachim by comparing the Sugyas, like we said before, it must be that davar she'ein lo kitzvah means there's no limit to how many korbanos space you can have. And there's no limit to how many bris milahs you can have on Shabbos. So as he says. There's no limit to how many will be Derech Shabbos every year. Okay, now going back to Rabbi Shimon's Shita. Rabbi Shimon said, or Rabbi Shimon only patters you when you have a kid to be mal the next day. When you have a kid to be mal on Shabbos, you just have to do the Sunday one on Shabbos. But you still have the kid in the wings waiting who could have done Shabbos. So to make that sugya Pesachim parallel, so then by Pesach also Shel Chabura Achash Lo Shachta. There's got to be a Chabura which hasn't yet shechted their korban Pesach. In order for you to be parted with your mistake, the Yerushalmi Shabbos l'shem Pesach, there's got to be somebody who actually is still chayav in Pesach. So every Pesach still Shabbos still nitan lidachos. So therefore, you're also parter with your mistake. But if all the chaburas already shechted, so Shabbos no longer able to be nidche. So therefore, your mistake, you're not going to be parter on. That's what makes the parallel sugyas parallel to each other. And now we have like we have Yerushalmi from time to time, a parallel sugya. Sugya starts again. It's a parallel sugya, which is a parallel similar sugya. So Rabbi Zir is going back on our Mishnah, in our according to our gears. Mishnah shtei tinokos echel mo be'erev Shabbos echel mo b'Shabbos shachal mal shel erev Shabbos b'Shabbos chayav. Right, and you mal the erev Shabbos on Shabbos. You're chayav. So he says, it's you forgot and you were mild in one of Shabbos and Erev Shabbos. So Shabbos is no longer able to be nidche. So therefore, you're chayav on the one you mild on Shabbos, even though, according to the Girsa which Rabbi Yochanan had, it'd be parts of according to the Girsa of Armash Chayav because Shabbos is no longer able to be nidche. So I said, what about Mola B'Shachris? What about, no, you did the Shabbos one on Shabbos, but you did it in the morning. And now you have the Erev Shabbos one left. So Rabbi Zira Amar Sav Rabbi Ani Potter. Rabbi Zira said that Rabbi Ani wanted to say a Potter. Rabbi Ba Amar Chayev. Rabbi Ba said you're Chayev. So in order to understand the next line of the Gemara, it's important to note as the Mepharshim point out here, Korban Eidah, that when Rabbi Amar Chayev, he wasn't saying it on his own. He's saying it as Rabbi Yana Shita. So therefore, Rabbi Zira Amar Savar Rabbi Yana Potter, Rabbi Amar, as if it says Savar Rabbi Yana Chayev. So the machlok is what Rabbi Yana said, and on that the Gemara asks, Lai Demila Amar Rabbi Yana. So if that's the case, why in our Mishnah give us the case of Erev Shabbos and Shabbos? according to Rabbi Boaz, understanding Rabbi Yanai, give us the case of Shachris, right? Shachris and Mincha. It's a bigger chiddush, right? That the Shachris is that even though in the morning it could have been Nidcha still, but since the afternoon it's not good anymore, you're chayiv. Why give us Erev Shabbos and Shabbos? Give us Shabbos in the morning and Shabbos afternoon. So so Great Moshe, it means it comes to tell you that people get even mixed up from day to day. Right? People get mixed up from morning to afternoon, that's obvious. People get mixed up from day to day. You should know it's not unnatural. But according to Korban Eidah, it's a fascinating. It's worth seeing the Korban Eidah. Okay, so it says, and the Sefer, how did you come to Mal Achar Shabbos b'Shabbos? How did you come to be Mal Sunday morning Shabbos? Come on, Nation Kvar Tol Mal Shel Shabbos Erev Shabbos, because we made one mistake, and you were Mal the Shabbos one on Erev Shabbos. But Achar Shabbos, therefore he thought that the Sunday one, now he's on a Shabbos. So all the he combines the two cases in the Mishnah. And he says the reason why in the end of the Mishnah you made a mistake with the Sunday one and on Shabbos because you already made a mistake with the Shabbos one and did it on Friday. That's beautiful. Okay. Now going to learn the next, change the gears to the next line like the Reb Chaim says, Al daiti the Rabbi Zira, according to Rabbi Zira, the gears should be not Rabbi Yana daiti the Rabbi Meir, but rather Rabbi Yana to look Rav Chisda. Rabbi Yana is not looking at Rav Chisda. In other words, according to Rabbi Yana, according to Rabbi Zira in the name of Rabbi Yana, so then, since it was Nitan Litchos Shachris, one of the kids was just a Shabbos kid in the morning. The fact that your parts are on the Friday in the afternoon because Shabbos way Nitan Litchos in the morning. So according to him, you don't need a Chabura left over afterwards. That still didn't check the Korban Pesach. Even you had a Chabura in the morning, which of course all the Chaburas in the morning were doing Korban Pesach. So since that day was Nitan Litchos for the Pesach, it doesn't matter. You don't have to have a Chabur afterwards, which still is going to possibly have to do the Pesach later in the day. So Gemara asked, "Amray Mona Kum Rabbi Yossi." When I asked for Rabbi Yossi, "Man Mar Chisda Rabbi Shimon." And that's what Chisda said that you have to have still a Chabura there, which hasn't shechted. That's like Rabbi Shimon, who says you only potter if Shabbos can still be nidche. Right? The Shabbos can still be nidche, so therefore you need to have like that's why he said that you have to, in order to be Yoshua pottered the Sunday kid on Shabbos because you didn't do, you still had the Shabbos kid. You had the Shabbos kid to do. So that which Rabbi Shimon said, you potter it is because you still have somebody, so you have a kid around who's suitable for it be done on Shabbos. So too, the Chabura has to be there to be done on Pesach, but to be done on Pesach. But what Rabbi Yanai said is maybe going like Rabbi Meir, Cray Meir. Meir doesn't require you to have one to be Shabbos to be doich. He has to be required to have a form of a mitzvah, right? That we said that you have to have the kid, the Shabbos kid is already gone. You have to mal them on Friday. You have Friday kid on Shabbos. It could have been a mitzvah, so there because it's after the 8th day. So that's all he requires. How can you say anything about? Extrapolate from Rabbi Yanai to Rav Chisda. They're talking about different tzurim. Rabbi Yanai is talking about Rabbi Meir. That you don't need to have any kid around who was doicha in order to be potter. And B'Shimon don't Rabbi Shimon. Can you compare the two B'Shimon and Shimon? So it says Gemara. Ashkelon Pli. Answer the question. Ashkelon Pli Rabbi Meir Rabbi Shimon Rabbi Shir. How do you know that they don't require shir? Maybe Rabbi Meir requires some sort of shir. In other words, it's true that he said that the Shabbos kid is going to only have a Friday kid. But what if you have no kid who has any mitzvah at all? Maybe you have to have a kid who has some mitzvah. True, the wrong day, but some mitzvah. And therefore the question is, okay, and what about if you had that day a kid who had a mitzvah that day, and then you have a kid who didn't have a mitzvah that day? Again, you can answer the same question. Go to Meir. Perhaps there'll be enough to potter, according to his opinion as well, than Rabbi Yeshua in the case of the Friday Shabbos case. So the Gemara doesn't, where it says perhaps they are comparable. And perhaps therefore you could say that the Rabbi Yana and Rav Chisda could both talk about shiur, whether you need to have somebody there. Shiur literally means leftover. In other words, that there's some but it has to be that it's a shiur. In this case, it would be a shiur either before or after, right? That there's somebody who's still shy for the mitzvah either before or after in order that Shabbos should be nidche. Perhaps. Even Kohen may need it. Who knows? So I'm getting a different way. Kohen Shimon, there has to be somebody who can be doichel Shabbos. For Meir, there has to be somebody who has a mitzvah on Shabbos. Even though the mitzvah is the wrong mitzvah, because it actually was yesterday's mitzvah, but still, it's the 9th day as opposed to the 7th day. Okay, that brings us to the end of the Amud, but the story then, again, seems to start over again, like another reset, going back to issues we discussed again, evidently from a different base medrash. But, of course, that brings us to the next Amud, so we'll leave it for tomorrow.